Oh man, it's a Tszyu Sebastian Fundora rematch in Jeopardy. I sure hope not, boy. I want to see that one. What up, YouTube? Big T.O. Heavy Bad Boxing TV. Man, if you don't get your big goof ass in here, hit the bag, hit that like button for your boy. That helps the channel. You know, I appreciate that love. Shout out to the gang, man. The bag hitters, y'all know the count. Big shout out to not just subscribers, but members of the channel, man. My guy, John out of the BX, the Boogie Down, Mark Nash TV, and the newest member of the Heavy Bag family, my guy, D1's Boxing, man. I truly appreciate y'all brothers for holding me down. Now, if you're catching me for the very first time, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell so you can get all the content. Now, man, listen, Sebastian Fundora, Tszyu, what a hell of a war. You couldn't have gotten a better main event out of the PBC in their first rodeo at Amazon Prime. I thought they did a great job, and I most definitely enjoyed the fight. I loved the adversity for both fighters. Listen, it was a war, and it was a hell of a fight, and I truly believe Tszyu deserves another go-round. Bottom line, shout out to Samson Lukowicz, who wants to honor the rematch. They want to honor that. They've said it several times now. They would like to do the rematch with Tszyu before anything, if it's possible. But something happened. Something happened that made Samson Lukowicz and Team Fundora feel uncomfortable. Now, for those of you who don't know, the rematch was supposed to happen, if it was to be a rematch, was supposed to happen back in Australia, in Tszyu's home country. Now, again, this fight with Fundora was only his second time fighting outside of his home country and the second time fighting in the U.S., but the rematch was supposed to happen in front of Tszyu's hometown crowd in Australia, right? But again, something happened. Lukowicz and somebody else from Team Fundora believe that they were threatened, right? They don't feel safe traveling to Australia. Bottom line, Lukowicz goes on to say that he was threatened by somebody who he could tell had a heavy Australian accent, and it shook them up. They scared. They scared to go to Australia in fear of their safety. So they're saying now, if this rematch were to happen, it would have to happen back in the U.S. and more likely at the T-Mobile Arena, of course, in Vegas. Not sure if this is going to be a deal breaker. Not sure if Tszyu is going to want to continue to go after. Well, I'm gonna keep it a buck, man. I think the Soul Taker definitely wants to take this rematch. It doesn't matter where it's going to happen. But the only hurdle for me is that's a long wait. More than likely, again, Fundora's not going to be ready to go until late fourth quarter. We're talking about November, even December, maybe even early first quarter of 2025. Tim has some healing to do of his own. I put up a short. If you check on my channel, it's Tszyu with his cut in his head, getting the stitches taken out. You have to give a cut like that in that specific spot some time to really heal, because it'll easily come open again. You know, if he has like a clash of heads, or God forbid he hits another bone, hit top of his head on a bone, shoulder or elbow again. But it could very well open back up. So he definitely needs a little bit of time to heal. He has a quicker turnaround time than a Sebastian Fundora for sure. But will he be willing to wait until, again, the end of the year or early next year for that rematch with Fundora? That's the big question mark for me. So much that can transpire over the next 8-9 months. You know what I'm saying? To see somebody as active as Tszyu be shelved and sidelined for that long waiting on a rematch with Fundora. And then on top of that, knowing that more than likely the rematch is not going to take place in Australia, it's just been a tough break all the way around for Tszyu, man. But of course, I do believe he wants that rematch. We got to sit back and see what he and his team want to do as far as maybe trying to stay busy. Again, Tim has been an extremely busy fighter, probably one of the most busy fighters in boxing right now. He just had like 5 fights in the last, 15 months maybe. So, and he's an extremely exciting fighter, man. But I hate the fact that they're coming up with this excuse about not feeling safe to give him his rematch, which it appears contractually that was the agreement, that if in fact it was to be a rematch and the rematch clause was activated, that rematch would take place in Australia. But if they feel unsafe, what can you really do about it? You know what I mean? If I'm Fundora or, if I'm whoever's calling the shots over there, this is my team. I don't want my team. If they telling me they feel unsafe, I got to do what's best for my team, what I got to do to protect them, or to, help provide a safe environment for them. It sucks. And it's some pussy shit, if you ask me. But, how serious do you suppose to take threats? If somebody actually indeed, and you want to give them, the benefit of the doubt that somebody actually did threaten them, how serious do you want to take that? You do got some crazy ass fans out here. So, grown man shit, you have to protect, the village. So it is what it is. And knowing Tszyu, he doesn't give a damn where the fight's going to take place. He just wants another crack at it. And listen, I think the consensus is, and I think we all in agreement that he was about to get in Fundora's ass before that accidental elbow cracked him open. And most definitely the blood was a huge issue in that fight. And ultimately, I believe, cost him that title. But you can't take nothing away from Fundora. He was laying the jab to his ass. He was reluctant with that right hand, but the jab won in the fight. And that's all that matters. I think they allowed the right man to win the fight that night. At the end of the day, Fundora's the champion. But for how long? And it's some shit interesting. It's some shit that's kind of getting unveiled with Bud and his attorneys that I'm gonna do a video on as well. And real quick, I gotta tell you guys, I'm excited about this, man. After 2 years doing this. It's been a little over 2 years now. I think 2 years, couple months maybe, that I've been consistently doing this. I finally had somebody to reach out who I can finally say that I have a solid source who is integrated, who is chummy, who has developed some camaraderie with a lot of these fighters that I speak on all of the time. So they reached out to me. I was able to reach back out, and we've have started somewhat of a professional relationship as well, as somebody I can see being a really close friend of mine in the future, who's willing to feed me a lot of information that most people just aren't privy to. So I'm excited to say that I do have a really, 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 really credible source that should be giving us some really, really good inside information over in the near future and over hopefully several years to come that I'll be doing this. All right, man. Tszyu, Sebastian Fundora, rematch may be in jeopardy. We got to see what Tszyu's going to do. Is he going to sit on the shelf and wait for Fundora? Is the rematch taking place in the U.S. versus Australia? Is that a big issue for him or his team? We got to see how all this plays out, man. That's all I got for y'all on this one. Big TL, heavy bag. You know who I got with me, man. Talk to him, Roger.
Most motherfuckers don't know shit about boxing.